Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of the new year of Guy Panic Podcast. It's your boy, Guy, on the ones and twos, here to talk about garbage shit like politics and more politics, because that's all I'm ever interested in. I may have actually gone insane recently, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, so what's happening right now? Well, last time we were here, we talked about a bunch of stuff involving Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, and how Elon, who bought Twitter, built it up to be this website where, in particular, the far right can like say whatever they want, get pay him to boost their messaging, and then and since the advertisers left, there's quite literally very little, if anything, that will get people with blue check marks just like banned, right? They can say quite literally anything, right? It's it's horrible. He made the website like that for them, used it to win the election, or at least used it to help win the election. But now that he's like saying generic capitalist stuff like H-1B visas are good, they all hate him, right? Which is really funny. And then since then, there's this guy on Twitter. His name is Adrien Dipman. And Adrien may or may not be Elon Musk. Now, I will err on the side of caution and say that he's not, but there's a bit too much stuff that does say he is. Okay, I'm sorry. There's a bit too much. First off, he constantly does like a Twitter space show, which he's rarely ever actually on, which is the weird part. He like sort of is semi on it, but for the most part, it's just Elon's best friend and butt buddy, Ian Miles Chong, who runs that show alongside other like rando blue check mark Elon dick suckers, right? Like it's an incredibly boring show. I listened to a whole episode of it. I mean, it's not really a show either. That's the thing. Twitter Spaces aren't like anything. They're garbage. It's just absolute trash, right? Like, I don't know who the hell uses them. I don't know what the hell they're used for, except for like having a bunch of narcissists go on there and talk to each other and choose who gets to talk on their like microphones, right? Because there's no like audience participation at all, right? It's just like it's lame. It's not like a live chat or anything. There's no. I mean, you can like post video feed. I think, but they rarely ever do, right? And I listened to this, and it was like the most like juvenile shit ever, right? Like, okay, first off, Ian Miles Chong, if you don't know who that guy is, he's some like long form American right wing media guy, sort of like a Tim Pool or an Andy No, right? Like he just endlessly like talks about US politics from like a right wing like political propaganda perspective. The funny thing about him though is that he doesn't even live in the US. For the most part, he lived in Malaysia. Now he lives in Dubai, right? He's not even involved in US politics in like a personal level. He just does it as a job online. Awful. And then okay, so one of the things right now that Elon and his the colleagues are on about is like the anti-Indian racism that's been popping off on Twitter ever since Elon talked about H-1B visa workers, right? All the gripers he on his website, all of them are, now being racist towards Indians, right? Because they think that's people Elon's importing into the country or whatever the hell. So they're on the show talking about how, it's really bad to be racist towards Indian people, and it is. But like at the same time, Ian Miles Chong is living in Dubai. If you know anything about Dubai, you know that place essentially runs on like South Asian wage slavery, right? Like if there was to ever be a country that has been like more materially racist to Indians besides the UK historically, it'd be like Dubai and Saudi Arabia, right? But he lives there as a rich dipshit. Hate him. Anyways, other things pointing towards Adrien Dipman being Elon Musk, besides the fact that he has a bunch of Elon Musk friends in his weird live show for some reason, awaiting on his beck and call. He doesn't. He like refuses to really showcase. I mean, supposedly they're on at the same time, but I don't care. Um, there was recently. This is very recent. A poll thread, right? So you're on 4chan, the one forum they got politically incorrect, aka poll, aka where like half the memes you see from 4chan are from, right? Like the most edgiest corner, that website full of like freaks and morons of all colors and varieties, right? Apparently, for some reason, there was a thread about Elon Musk and how his company's flagging and how he sucks, right? Because all the guys on poll are also angry about the H-1B visa thing. And then who pops in but a guy named Adrien Dipman. Now, on 4chan, you can choose to be anonymous or you can choose to have your name on your posts. Most people just go anonymous because, that's the fun of 4chan, is that no one can tell who you are, right? As to why Adrien Dipman's on there with his name, I don't know. It's weird. It's very weird, but it also sounds like something Elon would do because Elon loves 2016 era memes, right? He hasn't kept up at all. He has not kept up with anything at all. He would be confused if he went on like any sort of like Gen Z Discord server about all the memes they post there. No, no. He loves 2016. He loves shit that like Sargon of Akkad thinks is funny, right? He loves saying Kek and Kekistan. He loves saying friends. He loves all of that garbage. He loves Pepe the Frog, but like not like Pepe now, where it's like literally everyone posts Pepe, but like the epic Groiper Pepe stuff. Even though he also is at war with Groipers right now. Um, but yeah, no, he's on there and he's saying he's like just saying stuff like Elon Musk is not a ketamine addict. Elon Musk, the Cybertruck is actually really cool. Let me see. I wrote down some of the stuff here. Yeah. One, not political. Two, Elon is a friend of 4chan. Mr. Musk and Mr. Dipman spoke in the same space before. Who the hell calls Musk and Dipman Mr. Musk, Mr. Dipman? Very weird. Yeah, stuff like quote, that was debunked, dipshit. Elon used very small doses in a medically regulated environment, and even if he did increase his dose, asking someone about their personal medical conditions is effed up and violates any HIPAA and other moral writings on the wall. Irrelevant. Definitely not something that a ketamine addict would say in defense of their ketamine addiction. To people defaming him, I hope you are enjoying yourselves. Our laws are going to change soon. Cybercrime will finally be enforced properly in this nation. You are a maggot, and Elon has done more in his 20s than you will ever do in your entire pathetic life. Go take some painkillers and get back to the trailer with your alcoholic sister. Elon is a friend? I'll leave it at that. Like, okay, I can't tell if this is a troll or not. It would not be that far fetched to imagine there's a guy on 4chan who decides to troll as Adrien Dipman, right? To make Elon look bad, right now especially. I wouldn't imagine that being possible, right? One thing that happened though is that in one of his messages he posted a screenshot of something on Twitter, and then like on the bottom right, beneath like the little shit sidebar, is like stuff saying like admin, bans, like moderator tools, right? And that's been getting big as in terms of like proof that he is or isn't Elon Musk. Some people are saying that like, oh, if you own a Twitter community, you have those sidebar tools. I don't know. I don't pay for Twitter. Who the hell pays for Twitter? Why would you give him money to do what? To boost your signal? I mean, I don't care. I use Twitter as like a weird vent fun tool. I don't use it to make money or anything like that. That's dumb. And like I love people who like are very anti Elon Musk and anti like right wing news right now. But they also have the blue check mark. It's like how can you be against him if you're paying him money? If you're using the website the way he wants you to use it. God, it's dumb. Also, Adrian Dipman, even if he wasn't Elon Musk, he's still probably like almost, or if not as dumb as him. He will post shit like listening to classical music is very relaxing and inspiring, or some shit. Like it's just the most like vapid, annoying white dude shit you could imagine, right? Like gifted child syndrome times 9 million. Someone like found like his YouTube account and like his playlists for music, and it's like everything you could imagine that a guy who thinks Kekistan is funny right now would have on there, like 2016 vaporwave stuff. And it's like, buddy, don't get me wrong, that stuff's not inherently bad, but like it's 8 years old or older. God damn. And of course, that whole 4chan thread, at least his comments on it, ended with him saying, quote, "Keck you friends later, Anons," which is so stupid. So I bring this up because at the same time, there has been a really interesting news story recently involving one of Elon's precious devices, the Cybertruck, right? Um, in Las Vegas on January 2nd, Thursday, a guy parked his Cybertruck that he rented on a Turo app in front of Trump's hotel in Las Vegas, and it blew up, right? Apparently, it's full of like fireworks and gas canisters and stuff. The guy apparently also like shot himself before it blew up. I don't know why, but yeah, blew up, and it was just like and it's just like these images of like a burning Cybertruck wreck in front of what's very obviously a Trump-owned building, and it's a hilarious picture, right? Now, initially, what like Elon was saying was stuff like, "Look how epic the Cybertruck is! It protected people from the explosion." Mind you, I think like 5 people got injured, but like the guy was not trying to like attack people. I don't think. I mean, not like directly. I think he was just trying to do like it's like the right wing version of when like those guys light themselves on fire to protest wars, right? Like this was very obviously him having like a mental breakdown and wanting to make a big public show of it as he like offed himself. But like they are exaggerating the point to which this truck didn't blow up, to where they're saying like it practically was like contained inside of it when it wasn't. The thing's totaled. That truck will never drive again. I mean, he might like take the chassis and just retrofit it and make it into his or some shit, whatever. But yeah, yeah. Okay, so some stuff. So his name is Matthew Livelsberger. Um, apparently his wife had dumped him days prior, which makes a lot of sense. Yeah, he had left his home the day after Christmas, arguing with his wife over infidelity. His wife cheated on him, so he rented a Cybertruck and just drove down to Vegas. And they know they tracked him because you have to charge your car, if you have a Cybertruck, right? And I guess there's like ways of monitoring that. At the same time, though, he had to do it like 7 times, right? Or 9 times, and it's like, goddamn, why buy these things if it can only go 100 miles in a spurt? That thing's so shitty. Anyways, yeah, okay. He was a 37-year-old Green Beret. He was actively like in the military. His wife cheated on him, which is another military trope. He went crazy, and then decided he was just gonna like blow himself up in front of a Trump Tower or something. I don't know why. I think he just went. He snapped. He just went cuckoo. There was like messages though people got from him messaging his wife saying like, "I'm in a Cybertruck. It's so cool. I feel like a halo or whatever." It's really funny. Um. Also, at the same time, after I think a New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, there was that really bad truck attack in New Orleans, right? But just like this Cybertruck explosion, that truck attack was done by a U.S. citizen and a veteran. right? I think his name was like Hamsud Din Jabbar. He's from Texas. He grew up in Texas. He joined the U.S. Army. He had several small businesses that all failed. He had 3 divorces. Once again, that plus whatever PTSD he got from the military led him to being an insane person who did an ISIS attack, right? But on Twitter, everyone's saying, this is illegal immigrants," when it's not. The terror is from inside the house. It's homegrown. Marjorie Taylor Greene was on Twitter saying I have confirmation that the truck attacker migrated into the U.S. through Eagle Pass. What the hell is Eagle Pass? What is that? That sounds made up. What? God, this is all stupid. What else happened? Oh yeah. In other news, House Speaker Mike Johnson barely got elected to be House Speaker or to be reelected as House Speaker because like his party still can't operate right. You have to understand, like the way like the right wing Republicans actually function now is hilarious because there's so many of them in Congress and in the short bus that is the House GOP that like cannot like be politically effective, right? Because like what happened is that like in 2016 or 15, like Trump and like his whole campaign and the GOP were like putting out all this like immigration's bad, all these things are bad. We have to do all these horrible, crazy, fascistic stuff, right? Because they knew it would activate their voter base, all this like weird right wing populist garbage, right? They got in, they didn't do any of it, they did none of it, right? Which is how politics functions, right? You promise voters a bunch of shit, you deliver none of it, you do what you actually want to do, and what the GOP actually wants to do is just let corporations make more money. But when they did that, they had created a new kind of Republican, though. The ones that heard all this rhetoric, got spread around a lot online, and now honestly believe it and want to practice it. That's your MTGs. That's maybe sort of your Matt Gaetz. That's maybe there's just enough of them. There's enough of them in Congress right now that they threatened Mike Johnson over not being elected. Right? They were that much of a problem that they kept dividing their party further, which is really funny. I mean, granted, the Democrats didn't really do much to try to fight his election either. Hakeem Jeffries was just like, let's just work together, guys. And it's like, what? Screw you. Gosh, it does suck how the Democrats are like pseudo pivoting rightwards, because like, goddamn, imagine if they actually like appealed to anyone, right? Like, okay, I may have said this before on like an earlier show, or even the first show actually, but like, you're not gonna win people over by being Republican light. That's not who the hell. That doesn't make any goddamn sense, right? If a voter in this country is like earnestly angry and concerned about like immigration, right? They aren't gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna vote for the guy who says we should do a little bit of anti-immigrant stuff. No, he's gonna vote for the guy that says all the anti-immigrant stuff he could ever want. You know, oh, I only want a little bit of economic austerity. No, I'm gonna get the guy who says this full on economic austerity, right? You're not appealing to anyone. In fact, if anything, you're making yourself less appealing to people who don't want those things, which are your base for the most part, but they're brain broken, right? The ratchet effect is real. It's, and now we're having our years of lead garbage 2 days into the new year. God damn. That's probably enough, I guess, of the news stuff, right? I mean, I did want to talk a bit about the Cybertruck, though, because I have been thinking about it a bit. So, you know what the Cybertruck is, right? It's this really ugly car that Tesla made that Elon loves and probably has sex with, right? It looks like a barely rendered PS1 model. It looks like gross. I don't like the weird, like, stainless steel look of it. Why would you have that? Paint your cars, folks. Ew. There's all these angles on it that would make it super deadly, right? That thing looks like a goddamn death trap. I wouldn't trust it. This thing's like a Child Slayer 9000. That thing will just pummel anyone to dust. This is not good. And the thing is that like if you see one of these in public, it's like jarring, and not in a good way, right? It looks hideous. It looks like an eyesore, right? Like cars, they're at least sort of designed to be a bit aerodynamic, right? You know, it makes them more efficient, helps with the fuel, the mileage and the fuel economy, right? This thing isn't, and it's trying to it's trying to appeal to people who like trucks, right? But people who like trucks don't like electric vehicles. They don't. They hate them. They think they're soy and gay, right? Nobody likes those. I mean, at least the truck guys don't like them, right? The truck guys like having this giant piece of shit truck, right? They like to roll coal. They like to just have it just they understand that like driving past a person on the sidewalk will make them like cough from the fumes. That's what truck people like, you know? The only truck guys I respect are the ones who own a two-door truck, a two-door pickup, you know, a Toyota Hilux, something like that. I respect those guys. The guys with the giant like four-door trucks, I hate them because they're giant and the bed size is the same, right? Pathetic. And the same is true for the Cybertruck, right? So if it doesn't appeal to the normal people who buy trucks, who does it appeal to? It appeals to Silicon Valley nerds and like tech people. And nobody likes tech people. They're all disgusting freaks. Now by tech people I don't mean like people who work in like software engineering. No, I mean like people who are on Twitter advertising themselves as like a crypto guy, right? It's just this like shitty. I would actually consider it nouveau riche, like Philistine, like cultural movement of guys who like wearing tech wear, of guys who like having like weird shitty tungsten cubes on their desks, right? And who would buy a Cybertruck instead of like a decent car. And those things are expensive too. 80 grand for the cheapest model. Hell no. Hell no. I mean, I know it's more like 70 because of the tax incentives, but still, God, no. The only people I see driving those things are like all douchebags. And it's gotten recalled too. In fact, famously, earlier last year, every Cybertruck that was sold had to be recalled because the accelerator pedal could come loose, get stuck, and cause the car to accelerate on its own. Freakish. I hate it. I hate it so much. I mean, there's plenty of other like updates and stuff, right? There's plenty of other like I mean, there's plenty of other like recalls and such. Right now, you'll see a bunch of news articles about like X or Y vehicles recall, right? For like a Tesla. You should understand that those recalls are usually just like software updates, you know? But that's still like stupid, right? I can never imagine waking up and being like, ah, dang it. Hey, yeah, I'm gonna be late for work. I have to update my car real fast. Yeah, my car needs a reset. Hang on. You know, like what? Downloading it over shitty American Wi-Fi? Ew. God, I hate that so much. Anyways, yeah, New Year's has sucked so far. This year sucks. Christmas was fine. I like Christmas a lot this year. But New Year's, I mean, I had to work anyways. To get paid a decent penny though, that's for sure. Listen, if you're like I would say if you have a job where you can work on the holidays to make more money and you're not like super emotionally attached to one or the other, just do it, right? Like I work New Year's. I don't care much for New Year's as the holiday. I mean, it's kind of neat. It'd be fun to go out, but like for the most part it's just hey, stay awake. Then you go to work the next day, which is the case for me anyways. So, anyways, what else has happened? Okay, to pivot back to that Adrien Dipman stuff. So on his Twitter space I listened to, I heard these morons, these individuals, discuss something interesting. They were talking about how they hope in the future that, um, as a solution to the H-1B visa thing, we'll just have an AI algorithm decide who gets what job. And that sounds like the most unemployed tech bro investor guy opinion ever. Holy shit, I would hate that. These guys are horrible. I hate all of them so much, right? They were saying shit like, well, if the algorithm decides that based on your personality and your history that you should be a janitor, then you should just, accept that and be a janitor. It's a very, maybe you'll find that fulfilling, says the guy who lives in Dubai and owns like expensive vehicles and homes and such. No, screw you. God, I hate them. This just showcases how much Americans really need class consciousness, right? Because I know there are guys who make way less than I do who would listen to that and be like, these guys are smart. This is cool. I like this. Why? Because they don't know what's good for them. I do. I'm the arbiter of truth and justice. I know what's good for them. And what's good for them is wherever the hell these guys don't think. Okay? Because these guys are too stupid. They're idea people. I hate them so much. Yeah, America needs class consciousness. The issue, I think, really with American politics is that Americans as a culture just love to work nonstop. Now, you can trace this culture back towards like colonial times, right? And it's kind of a British thing, really, is the idea that you should just be constantly efficient and working and being of use to society as a whole. You cannot take breaks. You cannot be lackadaisical. You cannot be a lubber, is the term they used to use, right? Americans took that shit a bit too hard. And now, I mean, like, okay, granted, in some industries, we do have pretty balanced work lifestyles, right? Like, around the time the 20th century or so, we started having like people get like breaks, days off. They could talk to each other during lunch, which used to not be a thing, by the way, in some jobs. They had more rights. They could develop unions, right? They worked only 8 hours a day. Fantastic. But now we have newer industries with no unions and essentially no like regulations involved, like the tech industry, that leads to them working 80 hours a day, right? And people are like, oh, well, these guys just want to import immigrants into the country to work 80 hours a day. And it's like, well, I'm fine with the immigrants. I also don't want them working 80 hours a day because no one likes doing that. No one should have to work 80 hours a week. That's insane. It's ludicrous, even. But Americans view it as a positive. Americans like to hear people say, I'm working this much, right? Because they associate that with like money and efficiency and the grind. Dude, people, especially men who like adopt this grind set mindset, are all cooked mentally, right? They have been bought hook, line, and sinker. All right. Yeah. So if you take anything away from this, just understand that like tech people, no good. No good. Don't go on Twitter unless you follow me. Then I'm good. Go on my Twitter. My Twitter is very good. Don't listen to anyone who describes himself as an investor or a tech guy or a finance guy. Especially, do not listen to the opinions and ideas of a guy with an NFT profile pic or with any sort of like cryptocurrency in their bio, because those guys are just trying to sell you stuff. Don't listen to them. They're all morons. What else do I want to speak about? Oh, okay. So as of recently, I have gotten kind of addicted to Marvel Rivals. I have. I'm sorry if this upsets anyone. It's a very fun game. I enjoy it a lot. It's a weird game. So I've been getting into ranked matches, and I've been playing a lot of Vanguard, and I have opinions about this game. All right. So far for Vanguard, I've kind of evolved. I played a lot as Groot, which is fun because you can spawn walls out of fucking thin air and then just ruin people's days using them, which is very fun to do so. But now I'm playing more Penny, which is pretty cool. But this game's like comp matchmaking is some of the worst I've seen ever. Like, I don't get it. How the hell did you make it to silver and you get like 0 kills as a DPS. What logic does that make? How were you just carried the entire way through by decent players? Which is probably the case. I mean, I'll see how gold is, right? Goddamn. It is impressive, that game, though, how they managed to make it, like, actually seamlessly work together, right? All the little systems you can use, right? Like Penny's web launch, the thing that like stuns guys, can deflect and stop so much shit. It is really funny. Actually, as of recently, the developer has announced that they're gonna have new characters this month for the Fantastic Four. And it's like, what the hell? That's too fast. That's too fast. What's the catch here? This game has to have a catch. NetEase is probably stealing all my information right now. They probably already have a social credit score for me, and it's in the negatives. That's the only explanation, alright? Goddamn. What else happened? Oh, yeah. Jimmy Carter is dead. Jimmy Carter. Now I can't do the joke anymore. You know about that joke? The Only Plays joke where you say to your friend, hey, oh my god, Jimmy Carter just died, looking at your phone. And they walk up and like, really, what? And you show it to them, and it's like a gif of like a chewing creature. Or it's like a joke, is that like you show them and it's just some other bullshit, they get mad because they believed you, because it sounds very plausible at any point in time the last like 10, 20 years to say Jimmy Carter just died, because Jimmy Carter is known as the late 70s president, right? He's been old, honestly, probably for more of his life than he's ever not been old, okay? He looked like a corpse the last 10 years. I'm surprised he could still like walk and move. He had like that weird like brown patch on his face. Sort of like how Jay Leno looks right now, ever since Jay Leno got attacked by the mob. But yeah, no, like, yeah, I mean, he lived to 100. That's impressive. I don't know if any other president has lived to 100 yet or not. He's outlived so many people. I was hoping he outlived Bill Clinton, because Bill does not sound good either. Or Biden, for that matter. But yeah, 100 years old. It's something in those peanuts, man. The peanuts and the nuclear radiation from when he was a submarine officer. Has to be it. As a president, he's okay. And he's also very not okay. He kind of got screwed over, though, by OPEC. That was back when the U.S. was reliant upon oil imports from, like, the Middle East and not Canada like we are now. And the Middle East oil cartel decided to, like, just double prices in response to, like U.S. war and stuff involving Israel, I think. And then it just ruined his presidency, because everyone saw the price of gas go up and they got mad. They got real mad, and he was just like, I literally cannot do anything about it except deregulate everything, which is what he did. He's the first neoliberal, right? You might think that's Reagan, and Reagan's the biggest neoliberal, but Carter was the first. He did deregulate a lot of stuff, union bust a lot of stuff. It was really bad. The only thing he seemed to be good on, in my opinion, was like is like Cold War approach of just kind of just like cooling it the fuck down, you know? He immediately pardoned every Vietnam draft dodger, which is something that I wouldn't think Reagan would even do, maybe. You know, he was kind of like he seemed like a normal guy a bit, like a normal peaceable guy. I mean, he also was there when the United States stopped being pro-nuclear, which to me, frankly, sucks. But yeah, no, he's dead. Hopefully Clinton is next. He's also a neolib. I wouldn't mind him leaving either. Anyways, gang, this is probably it for this episode. I'll be frank. I don't have much to talk about right now. My brain isn't firing in all cylinders. There's not many interesting topics I can discuss at the moment, right? The year just started. We'll be seeing more crazy shit soon, don't worry, and maybe then we'll talk about more things in depth. But for now, it's just, 2 terrorist attacks, Elon Musk is moonlighting as a Twitter tech bro, Peanut President's dead. That's all. Anyways, see you later, bye!